mọi người! The little friend you guys saw at the beginning of this video is another adorable visitor of mine. And once again, welcome back to 30-day online English speaking challenge with the second topic about water. So why water? Today's topic is inspired from a recent devastating drought happening in our Vietnam's Mekong Delta in March. To be more specific, this is said to be the worst and the most prolonged drought in nearly a century. This phenomenon, coupled with an extensive buildup of salinity, has hampered agriculture and eroded livelihoods of thousands of farmers in 5 provinces of the country. Why some of us still take this natural resource for granted. Never before has fresh and clean water become such an integral, yet scarce element in sustaining the life and survival of people in those affected areas. For this reason, I have the aspiration to share how Singapore educating people to save water and use water properly through images featured in public area, and especially in the student hall I am staying. But first, let's talk about where the water comes from over here. In Singapore, every drop of water counts because of the lack of natural water resources. However, this tiny island has impressively overcome this challenge by meeting its water needs of a growing nation. Singapore has built a robust, diversified, and sustainable water supply from 4 water sources known as 4 national taps. The first source is water from local catchment. Through a comprehensive network of rivers, canals, and drains, rain that falls on 2/3 of Singapore's land area is collected and channeled to 17 reservoirs before it is treated for drinking water. The second source is high-grade reclaimed water, known as new water. Used water is collected in a network of underground sewers that leads to a water reclamation plant. This system is separate from the system for collecting precipitation to ensure that the waterways are free of pollution. And the journey of new water goes through 3 stages, namely microfiltration, second, reverse osmosis, and third, UV disinfection, to make sure that all contaminants such as solids, bacteria, and viruses are filtered out, and the purity of the product water is guaranteed. For this reason, tap water in Singapore is amazingly drinkable. The third source is imported water. Under the 1962 Water Agreement, Singapore can draw up to 250 million gallons of water a day from the Johor River, and Singapore is obliged to provide Johor with treated water up to 2% of the water this country imports. The 1962 Water Agreement will expire in 2061. And the last source is desalinated water. As Singapore is surrounded by sea, they are investing in research and technology to find more efficient ways to desalinate seawater. Then, how could we save water from daily activities? Well, everything starts from WATER, water. First, wash clothes on full load. Second, always use half flush for toilet when possible. Third, turn off shower when shopping. Fourth, ensure tap is off when brushing your teeth. And last, rinse vegetables in containers. So, in the next 40 years to come, the water agreement between Singapore and Johor, Malaysia would expire, which means Singapore had to say goodbye to one of its national taps. This posed a challenge for this country to raise people's awareness on saving water, and at the same time to come up with more advanced technology to maximize the potential of the remaining 3 national water taps to ensure its water sustainability in the future. So that is the story of Singapore. How about Vietnam? That is a shared question for all of us. So here's a little takeaway from today's video. First, we have the idiom, take somebody or something for granted. This means you are so used to somebody or something that you no longer recognize his or her or its value anymore, and you do not show that you are grateful. For example, the plenitude of natural resources has resulted in most people taking them for granted for most of human history. Second, we have the adjective devastating, which means causing lots of damage or have destroying effect on something. For example, oil spills are having a devastating effect on coral reefs in the ocean. Another synonym of devastating can be disastrous. For example, a disastrous fire or a disastrous result. Third, we have hamper somebody something, which means to prevent somebody from doing something or achieving something. For example, our efforts were severely hampered by the lack of money. Another synonym of this is hinder, to hinder somebody or something. For example, the SARS-CoV-2 has hindered global economic growth. Fourth, we have to desalinate. Desalinate means to remove, to abstract salt from seawater so it can be used. And we have the word salinity. It means the fact of containing salt. So for example, the salinity in freshwater in Mekong Delta would be higher if there were no solutions to tackle the issue. And the final word today would be livelihood, which means a means of earning money in order to live or a source of income. For example, fishermen have to depend on the seas for their livelihood. Another synonym of this would be living. For example, what does she do for a living? She earns her living as a freelance journalist or to make a good or a decent living. So those 5 interesting vocabulary and phrases have brought us to the end of today's video. Finally, I would like to give full credit to the official websites of PUB, Singapore's National Waters Agency, for giving me deeper insight into water in Singapore. And thanks a lot for watching, and I would like to see you guys again in the next video. Remember to take care, practice saving water as much as possible, and see ya!